All right, we are back here live at Super Prep Showcase TV Fitness Club here in Oklahoma City, KIMB, OKC Sports Radio 105.3. I'm Jay Swick here with somebody I'm pretty familiar with. Actually just saw him just a few days ago. My goodness. Welcome back to Oklahoma City. Coach Chris Wright, head coach of the Langston Lions, were just in the national championship game on Tuesday. Now you're hitting the recruiting trail. Golly, what have these last couple days been like? I know the last time we talked was not a great moment. Obviously, coming off just a 2-possession loss in the national championship game. Your second national championship appearance in 3 years. Coach, you've won 120-plus games over the past 4 years. Conference championships, conference tournaments. You've built a heck of a program over there at Langston, and I know it takes a village. It's not just you. I know what you were about to say. So I just want to talk to you about just kind of what this last week has been like, because I think it's really, really difficult to overcome something like that. Being in the national championship game and getting so close. And now it's like you've got to turn the page and you got to start over again.
Yeah.
Is that been somewhat of a difficult process this week?
Oh man, it's been a whirlwind, right? Obviously proud of our guys, and to get to that point was a great accomplishment by them. But yeah, to be close again and not be able to finish it definitely stings.
Yeah. And you turn from that, and now you're here kind of analyzing talent, and you're looking at different players. Talk to me about what your team is going to look like next year. What are you looking to add this year, roster-wise, for your Langston Lions?
So we could have actually 7 scholarship players coming back, which will be the most, honestly, I've ever had as a head coach. And so that's extremely encouraging. But, right, given the climate of college basketball, I mean, you just assume that you're almost going to have, right, an entire new roster every year.
Right.
So we'll have exit meetings with our guys coming up next week. But, yeah, have a lot of pieces that we could have back, and we're excited to build on that. We were pretty short-handed all season. Played without 4 scholarship guys that didn't make it. So, I'm excited to get a chance to build our team and hopefully do it a little bit better.
Well, and then, to lose out on some of those guys mid-season and then still advance to the NAIA National Championship. Coach, that's amazing. Like, that's an incredible feat. How proud were you of your team this year, especially going on that stretch from the conference tournament to all the way to the national championship game? I mean, your guys really stepped up at key moments.
They
when
did.
It mattered the most.
After we lost to Oklahoma City in the conference tournament championship, we blew a big lead late. I really was, just concerned about where our guys were going to be at mentally with 11 days off before the national tournament started. Man, I think they really made a commitment to get past hard, and I thought we're playing our best basketball at the end of the season. Even though we didn't shoot the ball the way we would have liked to in Kansas City, I thought, we played with a lot of grit, a lot of toughness, and it was cool to see how connected we were through that stretch.
Yeah, well, I think it's also a testament to the coaching staff, the administration there at Langston University, that you guys continue to find a way to compete for championships. I mean, whether that's the conference championship, the tournament championship, the national championship, you're always in the thick of things. What is the difference between, how does that continue to occur? What is the key to that with Langston and your basketball program, and really just you and your program, because it's something that you've done even before you got to Langston? What are you doing differently than some of these other schools, Coach?
Well, I think it starts, obviously we have a tremendous setup with our administration. When I was hired, right, Dr. Kent Smith made a big commitment to being good in men's basketball. And Dr. Jackson took over a year later, and that commitment's still there. So it really does, right? It starts with them. We have a great staff. Kevin Carver, my associate head coach, he was a mid-major assistant last year at UTEP. John Warren played for me. We've been together. We've coached together now for 5 years. Over that stretch, I think we've averaged, a little over 30 wins per season. So having those guys, Coach Steve Alexander at Douglas is part of our program, working our guys out. We just have a tremendous staff across the board. These guys make me look really good, and then it's finding players that fit our system and buy into what we're about.
Well, when you walked in, you didn't notice it, but I did. A lot of heads turned because Langston basketball has developed a reputation of being top of the line, class act organization that's affiliated with winning in accountability, hard work, passion for the game. There's a lot of things that go into what it's a success when nobody's watching. When you go to events like this, first of all, how many do you get to go to? Is this something are you going to events like this throughout the season, and what do you look for? And also, what do you think of this Super Prep Showcase here today?
Yeah, we tried to get out as much as possible. When we got eliminated in the national championship game, stopped by Hutchinson, Kansas, the national junior college championships were going on, and then to get a chance to come to this, what Mr. Perry and his son are putting on, I think is tremendous. I think it's great for Oklahoma City. It's great for a lot of these young men to be able to get extra exposure, and then as a college coach to be able to see them all in one setting, competing in various different ways. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, are you looking? What type of player are you at? You mentioned bringing 6 or 7 back, maybe even 8. So what are you looking to bring into your program for next season? Is it a specific type of player, like more of a 4 or 5? Are you looking for guards? What are you looking for to add to the team for Langston next season?
Well, first off, we'd love to add a really good freshman from this area, right? If you look at Jaden Williams and how he was able to come on as the season progressed, man, I feel like if we could, there's so much talent here in this area. I feel like it's a little under-recruited. So if we could get one really good freshman like that every year, you're able to build a solid foundation. More than that, we love guys that can shoot the basketball. We had a couple of great shooters this year, but as a team, we didn't shoot the ball as well as I would like. And then, being able to also just improve on our point guard play.
Well, when I think of Langston basketball, Coach, watching your program over the past 4 years, I mean, you've been number 1 in the conference in defense. What do you look for in defensive players? And maybe it's a player that doesn't have a great shooting percentage, but does all the other things at a high level. Do those type of players, are they attractive to you? Do you look for specific niche kind of players that are, that can rebound, rim protect, have a motor, play hard?
I think, and to steal this from Billy Donovan, right? He always talks about when he was at Florida, there's no such thing as help offense, right? Like, I feel like as a staff, we can, if a guy comes in as a 4 defensively, we can help that guy get to a 7 or 8.
Right.
If you come in as a 4 offensively, you're probably just a 4, right? So, we really recruit to what we do offensively just because, our defense really is. It's such a big part of our culture. It's such a big part about just our identity and who we are on a daily basis. We feel like we can help guys get to where they need to be on that end.
We were interviewing Landon Huey, USAO, a little while ago. We were just talking about the Sooner Athletic Conference and how hard it is. I mean, Coach, there's a game or 2 difference between the number 1 seed at the top and the 6, 7 seed at the bottom. You can lose 2 in a row and go from first to worst real quick. Can you talk about just your experience with the Sooner Athletic Conference during your time at Langston? And you've been a part of other conferences going back to your days at Talladega. Just how impressive is what we're seeing real when it comes to Sooner Athletic Conference and how tenacious it is?
Yeah, it's a battle every night. I mean, we had 5 teams make the national tournament. If you look in the first round, I think we went 4-1. Our league did, right? And that's a testament. MacU very easily could have been in the national tournament, and I think they would have won a game or two there. So yeah, it's I think it's really prepared us for the runs that we've made right here at Langston, just with 2 national championship appearances, 2 Sweet 16s, just because you see good coaching, good players every night. Teams are going to have a great game plan for you, and you're really going to have to, especially on the road, you're going to have to find a way to scratch and claw to win games.
Well, and you mentioned Jaden Williams earlier. I've always been enamored with him, even going back to his days at Frederick A. Douglass High School. But his toughness level down the stretch in that Final Four game, in the national championship game, was incredible. I didn't think he was going to play. And he said, Swick, that's the national championship game. You're going to have to cut my leg off. And then I'm thinking, okay, he's going to play, but probably just a couple minutes. He ended up playing the whole game, Coach. I mean, if you can get a few players like that, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine.
Yeah, he's a warrior. He had a pretty serious injury that sidelined him for about 5 weeks, and that's kind of what he re-aggravated. But to see him, I didn't want to play him, to be honest. Even though it was the national championship, I'm a lot more concerned about our guys' long-term health than I am one basketball game, regardless of when it is. And Coach Alexander and I tried to kind of talk him out of playing. And so we made a deal with him the morning of that, hey, we would, allow him to play, but if he didn't look good or, there was any problems, he was going to get shut down.
Yeah.
And he's like, Coach, I promise you I'm going to be fine. And yeah, I went out and just played his ass off. And, really in the Sweet 16 game, we don't beat Oklahoma Wesleyan if he doesn't come through and hit a couple of really clutch shots, right? And then in the Elite 8 game, has 7 offensive rebounds. I mean, just making effort play after effort play. So, he's a guy we're really, really going to be counting on, coming back into next year. And, I'm sure you'll see him at the Division I level before it's all said and done.
Yeah. Now, I think, with the 87, 89 kids we got here participating in the Super Prep Showcase, what do you look for specifically in an athlete? Are you looking at just their defensive ability of being a pressure defender? Are you looking for deep shots? What attracts you when you walk around? Because I've seen you walking around. What are you looking for? What's going to get your attention?
Initially, right, I think how someone scores the basketball, right, just the skill set they have, being able to shoot is a huge luxury. But more than that, once you find those guys, then I think it just comes down to intangibles. You want guys that aren't moody guys that bring tremendous energy no matter what drill they're in, no matter what setting it's in, just kids that love to compete. And so, yeah, I think you can get a great sense for those intangibles in an event like this.
What's next for you once this event's over? What's the rest of, this? I guess, we've still got a little bit left in this semester, but then the summer, what's kind of the timeline between now and the start of basketball season look like for you and your Langston Lions?
Shoot, it's already started. It's already going, right? We got to get some players. Right, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's coaching. If you don't have really good players, you don't have a chance. And so, we have a great staff, and we're fortunate enough. We have 5 or 6 guys scheduled to visit campus here in the next couple of weeks, and just trying to shore up some of the areas that we felt we could have got better. That would get us over the hump to possibly beat a Freed Hardman in the national title game.
Yeah. Well, I have no doubt you're going to be competing for another one here next season and the season after that. I would only recommend to you, by the way, we're talking with Chris Wright, head coach of the Langston Lions. we're runner-up in the national championship game. I think you and the wife need to go up to Buffalo for a vacation. I think you're due. And I would recommend going to Buffalo now instead of when it's, freezing cold, snowing 100 inches.
Hey, no question. Now, I think she's going to want to get me out to a Bills game next year when the new stadium opens.
That's right.
I put this on Twitter last night. I was joking with her and said that the reason we can't win a national championship is because she's a Bills fan. She death stared at me and said, you never sniffed a national championship game until you met me. I said, okay, that's a fair point. I won't hate on your Bills anymore.
That's a fact. Well, I might have to tag along, be the third wheel on that one because I want to go up there again. I loved it. But Coach Chris Wright, thank you very much for coming by. Thank you for coming by and scouting the talent we have here in the state of Oklahoma. It feels like everybody's here. And we need more coaches like you to, recruit our kids. And you even mentioned it. I do think that the talent level when it comes to basketball in the state of Oklahoma is severely underrated. And that's why Super Prep Showcase is here. And we're glad you're here to watch and take part of it.
Hey, appreciate you guys having me today. Awesome to see you, Jay Slick.
Yeah, awesome. Chris Wright, Langston University. We'll take a break. Come back here very soon for more Super Prep Showcase. Sponsored by TB Fitness Club, Echo Sports, Red Dirt Furniture, Cricket Wireless, and OKC Sports Radio 105.3. We'll be back.